Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling. 10 past 10, Paul Miller Show for a Tuesday. Yep, from the BBC in the South. We're around the world at bbc.co.uk. And as I always say, trusting you are well, had a good day, ready for 3 hours of goodies. We most certainly are. Neil is with us. He's in the production gallery. He's raring to go, and certainly is all systems go as well. You may have heard Peter mentioning a little while ago about moving things, and we are going to be talking about that later on as well after this terrible story today, which didn't make me laugh much, about this £45,000 grand piano. It was a grand piano. It isn't now. It's a pile of junk. This piano was dropped from a delivery lorry. Apparently the company that was supposed to be moving this thing have refused to comment to the media, allegedly, and so they have nothing to say. But I think the pictures that have been taken of it actually happening probably speak enough anyway. It's the most dreadful story. But there again, these things do happen. And when it comes to moving something that is a bit awkward, there's always a problem somewhere. And we're going to be talking about moving things a little bit later on. Have you ever tried to move something from your house to somebody else's house? Or maybe you've put up flat pack furniture actually in the room that you want it to be in, and then you decided that we're going to put it in the room next door instead. Yeah, no problem. Give us a hand with this, George. So there you go. You push it towards the door and suddenly you realise, slight problem. Not quite round peg in square hole, but sort of like, you know, small hole and big peg won't go through. Have you been there? Or maybe you've decided to move house by yourself without using a removal company. And so therefore you get all the friends and relatives round, all the estate cars come, and there you are with the cooker hanging out the back and the three-piece suite and goodness knows what. And mother's rubber plant. Don't you damage that plant. I've had that 40 years. Too late. Anyway, how do you move things? We'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the programme. Neil, I can't hear you through my cans. You have to tell me what you just said. Oh, yes, we'll have a cup of that, please. Yes, please, please. Neil's making tea, by the way, if you want to get your orders in quick. And, yeah, I'll get that done. In the first hour of the programme, though, we've got our competition, final week of our taxi competition. This is where we ask you to try and work out who or what, tonight I can tell you it's a person, is in the taxi. You do that by answering some questions. There will be an anagram, there's a mystery tune, and there's a what am I. And the three answers, not the questions, the three answers lead you to a famous person. Okay, so that is the way that it works. So where's that taxi? Here it comes now. And I'll pull up outside Paul Miller Towers. Who is the famous person inside, I wonder? Shut the door. Thank you. Off you go. Thank you very much. Okay. Famous person in that taxi. You can work out who it is by getting some answers. So write these down. You don't have to have a go at all three of them, of course. You just go for the one that you're interested in. So you can have a go just at the anagram, just at the what am I, just at the mystery tune, whatever. That is entirely up to you. The anagram tonight is as follows. Finite type like ham. I'll spell it for you as well. Finite type like ham. It's an anagram of something. Person, a place, an expression, something like that. Finite, F-I-N-I-T-E. Type, T-Y-P-E. Like, L-I-K-E. And ham, H-A-M. Okay, so there's your anagram. Get unscrambling that lot. Finite type, like ham. What does that turn into? Number 2, as always, is our mystery tune. You've got a little tiny bit of a well-known song, and we do need to know the artist and the title, because ultimately the clue could be in either, or it may be in both. That's what you need to work out. So here it comes, tiny bit of a song. Can be at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, or towards the end. You've just got to work out what it is, who it is by. Here it comes for tonight, then. Yes. It's one of those, Mr. Miller. Could be absolutely anything. Do you know what that is? Need to pick up the phone and give us a ring. Give you the contact numbers in just a sec. And then for number 3, it's a what am I? So I give you a clue here that leads to an object of some description. You need to work out what that object is. The clue is as follows. Most homes will have at least one of these. But what could it be? Most homes will have at least one of these. What do you think? You don't have to have a go at all three of them. You just go for the one that you want to. So the anagram again, finite type like ham, Finite Typeham. Okay. Number 2 is the mystery tune. Really well-known song, that. What is it? Who is it by? And then for number 3, for What Am I? Most homes will have at least one of these. What? A couple of mentions to do before you go any further. First of all, Scania Man from Thatcham is absolutely seething tonight. Seething and steaming. Says, Paul, do us a favour, could you please get the frying pan for me onto the idiot tyre fitter who fitted my new motorbike tyre on the wrong way round. I'm not amused. Scania Man, I shouldn't think you are either. But there again, I had a situation a good few years ago where I had a couple of new tyres put on my car, and they put the hubcaps on wrong, and they came flying off as I went down the road. We won't go there, as you can imagine. The language was an interesting was an interesting shade of blue that night. But there you go, such is life. Anyway, hope you got that one sorted out. And also, Joe in Windlesham says, Paul, can you please say hello to my mum for me? That's Pammy from Longham. And if you can possibly go round with the oils, that would be great. She's just had her new knee done, and she's having a little bit of trouble. I think it could do with some of your oils, because only they will help. Pammy, don't you worry. I shall be on my way, and I will get that sorted out. And a couple of other quickies as well. Thank you to Jacob, who says, can you please give a shout to my friend Mindy, who'll be listening in Kansas tonight in the United States. Tell her I love her to bits, and we'll be enjoying the programme as always. That's from Jacob Ruddock, so thank you to you. And also hi to Adrian as well, who just wants to say hello to his mum, Linda. They're listening to the programme site in Tunbridge, and Linda is doing the ironing. I suppose someone's got to do it. Right, let's get cracking with this competition then. We didn't have a winner last night until the very end, after I had to give big clues and goodness knows what. Let's see if we can get a right answer tonight. And of course, the person who manages to identify who is in the taxi, the first person to identify who's in the taxi, gets one of my bugs as always. Let's go straight off and see what Colin has for us. He's in Raynham. Hello, Colin.
Hello there, Paul. How are you doing?
Very well indeed.
Very good, very good.
Are you back to normal now after the little holiday period?
Paul, let me just tell you, I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I go back the following Monday.
Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm enjoying it, absolutely.
Now then, what are you going for, my friend? Which one?
The tune.
You can have a go at this. Okay, what do you think it is?
Well, the wife did start singing it, but she won't sing it now.
Is she a good singer?
Is she a good singer?
I mean, could we do a little duet on my new album, do you think?
Rose, Paul wants to know if we can do a duet. No.
Oh, all right then, fair enough. At least she's honest.
Yeah, the Proclaimers, I think it's 500 miles.
I know the song you're meaning. Quite a few people going for that. It is a very popular guest. Leslie from Edenbridge thought that it was that as well, thinks that it is that. We've also got Tony from Southampton, Jay in Waterlooville, Chris from Portsmouth. It is a very, very popular guess.
Okay, but it's wrong.
Speedy the Turtle, Chris in Portsmouth. I think I just did that one. There are 2 Chris's in Portsmouth. And also we have Lulu, who is in Coventry, and also Laura from Sevenoaks. And you're all completely wrong.
Oh, what?
It sounds so much like it, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
I know. It is, because when I first heard that earlier on, that's what I thought. I thought, oh, that's easy. And Neil said, no, it's not.
What?
And I thought, what do you mean, no? Because he's always winding me up. But no, it isn't, I'm afraid.
Can I have another little listen there, Paul? What is that?
It does sound like it, doesn't it?
Okay, all right.
Not to worry.
I'll admit defeat gracefully.
All right, it's lovely to speak to you, though.
Take care, Paul.
Love to the wife. Take good care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. There is Colin from Raynham. That was a very, very popular guest. I've also had a couple more I can see here as well. Adam, who is in Windsor, has gone for 500 miles, and so has Geraldine. It's a lovely name, isn't it? Geraldine, who is in Kingston. Nice to hear from you, but it's not the one. Do you know what that song is? Let's go to Hampden Park now. Speak to Joan. Hi, Joan.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
All right, thank you.
Good.
Yes, thanks. I've got a leak as well.
A leak?
Yeah.
Where's your leak?
Well, mine's in under the sink at the stopcock. And I've got the plumber coming in to have a look on Thursday.
How long have you been leaking?
Oh, I don't know. Might be several weeks.
How did you discover it? Did you suddenly think it's a bit wet down here?
Well, I thought the floorboard outside the sink
Yeah.
looked a bit wet, and I thought, oh my goodness.
I know.
So he's coming on Thursday morning.
It's an absolute pain in the backside. I had a leak, as you know, just a few weeks ago.
So.
And it was under the most awkward floor in the house to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been done now, and I have to say, everything is fantastic. But, you know, when I knew there was a leak, I thought to myself, now, where is this leak going to be? It was obviously under the floor, 'cause it was in the heating system.
That's right.
And I thought, right, I bet you it's going to be the most awkward bit, the floor that's the hardest to get up. Sure enough, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
So
did you do it yourself?
Yeah, you must be joking.
Oh,
Me with leaks? Joan, please. No, I did. What I did was I managed to trace the leak myself.
Yeah.
I did that. Me and Mother went out on a mission and we found it.
Right.
Don't ask me how, because it's a long story involving broom handles and tissues. Anyway, we did it, and I then got in touch with our friendly plumber. And I said, got a leak.
Yeah.
And he came and he sorted it all out for us. That was an hour's job that took 2 days, like everything. But
yes.
but not to worry.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be able to sort you out fairly rapidly.
Well, I hope so, yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Now then, Sweetie Pie, which one are you going for on this competition?
The anagram.
All right, finite type like ham. What have you got?
Yeah. Oh, I wondered if it was keep it in the family.
Could it be keep it in the family?
Because the word family hit me just like that when I looked at it. And I thought,
just like that.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Patrick in Mopley thinks that for the anagram as well.
Right.
And you are both...
Wrong.
Right.
Oh, right.
It is
that's
right.
lovely. Oh, good.
Sadly, no prizes, you know, at this
No,
stage. But
no.
yes, you're absolutely right. It's good because the anagram hasn't gone for a few nights. So tonight we've got keep it in the family. So that is the first clue out. That'll give someone a hand in working out who the person is.
I couldn't give a sort of a guess at the name of the person, could I?
You can do.
Well, I didn't know whether it might be David Essex.
Could it be David Essex?
Because he had a series of... He was in a family, wasn't he? A long time ago.
Joan, you know they say about your luck running out.
Yes, it is.
Well,
It has now.
your ruck has definitely run out.
Oh, well, it was a try.
Yeah, and it's lovely to speak to you. Good luck with the pipes.
Yeah, thank you.
Get it sorted, my love.
Yes, okay.
Bye-bye
Yeah,
now.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Faith from Dibden, Chris in Battle, and Billy from Reading also managed to get that sorted too. So if you're going to work out or try and work out who ultimately the person is in the taxi tonight, we've got one answer already. So that is your first firm clue. Keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. So what about this song? That's going to help a few people. We have got We Will Rock You by Queen from Billy in Reading. Right Said Fred, Deeply Dippy. That is from Robert in Crawley. They've got a new album coming out soon. We've got Noggy in Dover with Mellow Yellow. Oh, it does sound like that. No. And also we've got Grace Kelly, Mika, from Greg in Lymington. Celtic Steve, hi Steve, has gone for Deeply Dippy by Right Said Fred as well. And also Elizabeth, who doesn't say where she is. Brian from Oxford, Hi Ho Silver Lining. Mellow Yellow from Maureen in Redhill. Nice to hear from you, my love. These all coming through on the text. Also for the song, Wendy from Farnborough has gone for Hi Ho Silver Lining as well. Lynette from Bournemouth similarly. Mellow Yellow from Sandra in Horsham, sadly not the one. We've also got, who's this one from? Adam, doesn't say where he is. Please always say where you are. Adam thinks 500 miles. Wayne in Hove went for the Proclaimers as well. Steph in Bexhill says, could it be Faith by George Michael? Sounds a little bit like it. No, I'm afraid it is not. And we've also got Amanda from Crawley with the Turtles. Happy Together. No. Electronic, Getting Away with It. And Neil Tennant made a guest appearance as well. It's a big cheer when suddenly he appeared on stage. I think it was only on about 2 minutes then off he went again, had a hair appointment or something. 25 to 11, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. How are we doing with our competition? Not too bad. We've got the anagram sorted out. We know the answer there is keep it in the family. So we need to work out what this little tune is. And also, what am I? For number 3, most homes will have at least one of these. But what is it? Let's go to Abingdon to speak to Morris. Hello, Morris.
Hello, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, very well, mate.
Good.
Just call me the Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man? Why are you the Invisible Man?
Because you couldn't see me just now.
God, I can't see you now.
No, you couldn't see me on your screen.
No, I couldn't. It's very true. No, I couldn't. And of course,
I've got your cold, mate.
And Neil can't speak to me at the moment due to various technical reasons, so I do apologise for that.
What a good job he can't speak to you.
Yeah, it is, because all I get is abuse. How's your day been?
Very good.
Back to normal after the weekend, or what?
Well, I've been out campaigning tonight.
Campaigning?
Campaigning.
For what sort of thing? Now, it's nothing to do with elections, is it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, we can't talk about those.
Then I haven't said it then.
No, and neither one of us can talk about those.
Right.
Otherwise, the frying pan will be coming out again, round my chops.
Well, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, Paul.
It's quite a nice frying pan, though, it has to be said. It's quite a nice one.
Even a nice one can leave a lump on your head, you know?
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. So which one are you going to go for? I can see you there.
Well, how good to be visible. Well, I did a quick scan when I heard it. I heard you for the first time.
Yeah.
Which that wasn't that long ago. And I thought about telephones, and then I thought about the loo, of course.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, telephones are very recent, and there's always a loo somewhere. But I went for bathroom.
Right. Most homes will have at least one of these, because some people have posh houses with several.
Oh, yeah, and more than that, even.
Yeah, tell me about it. So a bathroom.
Yep.
Is good.
It's not right.
No, it is not right. It is the wrong answer.
Yeah, well, I come from a time when everyone didn't have bathrooms, you see.
You can have a little potty under the bed?
No, they had a tin bath out the back.
Oh, well, I don't do those.
Oh, well, no, you
No,
wouldn't.
you get cold on your bum. We don't have those.
Oh, especially in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the winter. No,
That's only
thank
for
you.
the brave, then.
Yeah, no, I was not the brave. Sorry, it's the wrong one.
Oh, never mind.
Not to worry, though. It's nice to speak.
Well, good luck with the show.
Thank you. Take good care.
Cheers, now.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. There you go. There's Morris in Abingdon with the old bathroom. Kevin is in Sandwich. Hi, Kevin.
Hi there, all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. You sound as though you're out and about. Are you working or what?
No, I'm just coming back from a mate's house at the moment. I'm in a band, you see, and we've been trying to do our MySpace page tonight.
Oh, fabulous. What's the band called?
We're called Springtide Cavalry.
Right.
Bit of a weird name, like, but we've just been doing our MySpace page at the moment, so I've just been coming back from Faversham to Sandwich at the moment, like, so I pulled over those, so...
What sort of a... no, that's cool. What sort of a band are you? What sort of, what style?
We do sort of like, we're indie punk rock, alternative sort of music, basically.
And how long have you been together?
We've been together for quite a few years, but we've just got a new drummer for the past sort of year, like. Yeah, so we've been with this new drummer for a year, but me and my bass player have been together for like since I was like about 15, 16, and I'm 24 now, like.
Yeah.
So we've been together for quite a while and that, but
Excellent.
But yeah, good.
How are you finding it? Being in the band, are you getting some recognition?
Well, sort of, yeah. It's not too bad. Obviously it's really hard work with the music industry changing and that nowadays with the internet and downloads and whatnot. So it's quite, in a way, it's a good thing. I think it's good in some sense, but to another way, it's also quite hard because you realise how many bands are out there trying to do exactly the same thing, and it's very hard work. But I love it. Like, it's my passion.
Yeah. So what part do you play? Are you a musician or are you a singer or what?
Yeah, I sing and play guitar.
Excellent.
Cool. Yeah, good.
And remind us again of what you're called.
We're called Springtide Cavalry. It's myspace.com/Springtide Cavalry.
All one word, yeah?
Yeah. But don't try to say it when you're drunk, though.
No, I won't. I can only just about say my name, don't worry. And is there some of your music on there as well?
Yeah, we've got 4 other tracks on there, and some photos and a little biog and that, so yeah.
Excellent. We should have a little look and see what we can find. I should be interested to have a listen. I like that.
Sure, brilliant.
Yeah, sounds good. Now then, which one are you going to go for in our competition? The song?
Yes.
Okay, so another quick listen. What do you reckon that is?
Well, I was thinking it might be Dexy's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen, but like I'm sort of thinking it probably isn't now, but I thought I'd give it a go.
Always be positive, they say, Kevin.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It sounds a little bit like it, but like I'm not too sure.
Right.
Let me know anyway.
Okay. Are you a Dexys fan? Did you like Kevin Rowland
well,
and the gang?
that song's okay. It's a bit of an old one. Not entirely my cup of tea, but it's all right, I think. Yeah, they're not.
It's all right. A party after a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. If you're drunk at a wedding or anything, it's definitely needed, I think.
Get your mother on the floor, doesn't it, you know?
That's it, mate, yeah.
It's good, could be, but it's not.
Oh, no worries.
It's the wrong one. Nice to speak to you tonight. You take good care. Good luck with the band.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers, Kevin. Bye-bye. There is Kevin from Sandwich. No, it's not. No, it's not. Let's go to Epsom now. Speak to Anita. Hello, Anita.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
Fine and full of chocolate.
Still?
Yes.
Last time I spoke to you, you were full of chocolate, I think, weren't you?
No, I was thinking I ought to have some.
Oh, yes,
I certainly have.
I knew we had... Oh, I see you've OD'd on it, have you?
Yes.
Just ever so slightly.
Just ever so slightly.
The problem is it's so...
Well,
it's really scrummy. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this. I suppose it's a bit like when you're drinking in a way. You know, everything is fine, and then suddenly, in about a minute, you go from being whippy to, oh, I don't feel well.
Yes.
Do you know, it just happens. I was stuffing my face.
You do, don't you?
It's true. I think it was Saturday night. Or was it Friday night? I can't remember. I was eating an Easter egg and it was going down a treat. I'm saying, come to daddy, you little beauty. And then suddenly I thought, oh no, I've had too much of this. And I felt Tom and Dick and I wasn't very happy. And I've had too much.
Oh, I didn't let it get quite that bad, but it would have if I'd gone on much longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I had a sort of...
Of course you have. Absolutely.
The song.
You're going to have a go at this. What do you think?
Oh, I'm not so sure now.
Ooh.
I thought it was Sweet Caroline, but now I don't think it is. But...
Sweet Caroline. Neil Diamond.
Yes.
A couple other people have gone along with that as well. Robert from Newbury thinks that it could be Sweet Caroline.
Ah.
Yeah. Jason from Jason Newington thinks it could be Sweet Caroline as well. Dave on the M4 also agrees with you. Yeah. So does Sandra in Windsor.
Ooh.
It's looking good, isn't it? All these people. There again, you could all be wrong.
Wiltshire. Good, but...
Well, yeah, quite. Wiltshire boy thinks so too. We've also got Paul in Southampton, Jay in Imrai. Could these people all be wrong? James from Reading, Sweet Caroline again.
We can't be because we're all clever clogs.
How convinced are you? Brian from Chessington agrees.
Oh.
Shall I tell you something?
We're all wrong.
You're right.
Oh.
Wasn't the spring.
Suddenly everyone says, oh, rats, of course it is.
Who'd have believed you'd come?
Yes,
good.
The man who has something in common with Princess Anne. They both have the same hairstyle forever. Neil Diamond with the little story of Sweet Caroline. Good, we've got that one sorted out as well. So that's 2 down. That will make life a lot easier for somebody else, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Just going to work out now, first of all, what number 3 is and who the person is.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Intriguing.
We shall see. Good to speak as always, my love.
And you, Paul.
Don't OD any more with the chocolat.
I'll try not to.
And I shall speak to you soon.
Okay.
All the best.
God
Bye-bye
bless.
now. Bye-bye, my love.
Paul.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's Anita from Epsom, so we got that one sorted out. So let's look at the evidence. We've got Keep It in the Family and Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond here. So ultimately, who could that famous person be? And remember, it's the answers that are the clues to the famous person. We just want to know who that person is. And, of course, number 3 could help a little bit as well, which is the what am I? Most homes have at least one of these. Some more guesses as to what number 3 could be. We have got a microwave from Gwen in Bognor from number 3. We've got a knocker from Sue in Southend. That's of the come in variety, not any other variety. We've also got a telephone from Maud in Hove. Thank you for that. A DIY disaster from Chrissy in Oxford. That's clever. Would we be that crafty? I don't think so, or maybe we would. What about a coffee maker from Elaine in Hertfordshire, and thought that maybe the person we were looking for was Zoe Wanamaker? I can tell you that both are wrong. Neil from the Isle of Wight thinks number 3 could be a key. Smoke alarm from Thomas in Abingdon. We've also got, who's that one from here? She's from Gina, who doesn't know where she actually is. Thinks it could be cup or cups, saucers, that sort of thing. I'm afraid not. Steve on the M40. Hi, Steve. Says pets for number 3. Nope, it is not. Mirror from Selzy Jill. And we've also got a window from Big Bad Colin the Boots Driver. Nice to hear from you, as always. And another one that's come through here from Anna in Oxford. Just, I'm thinking of saucepans, things in the kitchen. Pam from Ferndown agreed with that as well, but I'm afraid it is wrong. Love is in the air. Coming up to 11 minutes to 11, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. There will be some bad language and some swearing and some sweating in the air after 11 o'clock. We're going to be talking about when you have to move something or things. And it doesn't necessarily mean moving house, that it might be, but just something big that's got to be moved from one place to another. And it turns out to be an absolute nightmare. Got some great stories coming through already after you mentioned this at the top of the show. So we'll be talking about moving things in the next hour. So if you have a story to tell, listen up, and we should look forward to chatting. However, we want to get this competition sorted out before we go any further. Let me just say that for number 3, the What Am I, we have now got a right answer. Okay. So the right answer for number 3, the What Am I, coming through on the text from a number of people. Martin from Poole has come up with the right thing. Also Jeff, who is in, I think that says Eastleigh, but there's a few letters missing on the text here, so I think he's in Eastleigh. I've also got Adrian, who is in Tunbridge Wells. Speedy the Turtle from Maidenhead, I love that name. Also Angela in Oxford, Jim, who is out driving the old Asda lorry full of goodies, and also Faith from Dibdom, and not forgetting Steve on the A34, worked out that number 3, the What Am I, is a television. So we've got 3 things here now. We've got Keep It in the Family for the anagram. We've got Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond for the song. And we've got a television for number 3. So who on earth is this famous person? Remember, those 3 answers that we've now got, excuse me, those 3 answers will lead you to, or relate to in some way, to a famous person. Who's it going to be? Let's go to Gillingham, speak to Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Very well. Your good self?
Yeah, not too bad. On our way to work at the moment.
To work?
Yeah, Sue's in the car with a night shift tonight.
What do you do, if I may ask?
We're good old customs again.
Hey, I remember. So you'll be looking for the people who've got too many bottles of the old plonk.
That's right, yeah.
So is that a 24-hour thing? I suppose people are always coming into the country.
All the time, 24 hours a day.
Really? And if you do find somebody who has got something they shouldn't have, do you have, like, loads and loads of paperwork and what have you to do? Or is it just a case of take it from them and that's it?
Endless paperwork, endless computer work.
Boring. But someone's got to do it, eh? Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
So what time does your shift start and finish? I'm curious, because it's quite late.
Well, we're starting about 10 o'clock and we'll finish about 9 o'clock in the morning.
So you do about 11-hour shifts then?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, keeps you out of mischief though, doesn't it, Gary, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, do you think you know who this person is? Would number 3 have helped you coming up with the television?
Well, the Sweet Caroline helped me as well. We worked with Caroline Ahern. The television led to the royal family, Ricky Tomlinson.
Oh, I see, right. So you think the overall person we're looking for is Ricky Tomlinson?
That's right.
Interesting. Because a few people have agreed with you here. The Paris he says, the Paris Flyer in Dover agrees with you. Also Angela, who is in Maidstone. Peter in Southampton. And also Doreen in Slough. And you're all wrong.
All wrong?
Wrong.
Oh dear, never mind.
You're very, very close, but you're not right. Not to worry, though, not to worry.
Never mind.
It's good to speak as always, and don't you work too hard tonight, will you?
Okay, Paul.
You take care. All the best. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There's Gary from Gillingham and the gang. They're going to be sorting out the old customs. Ooh, keep well away. Dodgy, 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 dodgy. You're coming through with your kind of bottles of Gordon's. I haven't had a drop. Pardon me. We shall go to Chandlersford and speak to Hugh. Hello, Hugh.
Hello, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
Very well indeed, very well. Tell me something. Have you ever been questioned as you've come through customs?
No, never actually been through customs myself.
Probably lucky. I remember some years ago, about 1970, coming back from Spain with my parents. I was only a kid at the time, and my uncle had been a bit naughty. He had about 4 bottles of Bacardi more than he should have had, and he had about 10,000 cigarettes more than he should have had. And there he was, making his way through nothing to declare. I mean, this is 30 years ago. Nothing to declare, 40 years ago nearly, and everything went to plan. Until he just he was almost out of the customs hall.
Yeah.
The handle went on one of the carriers.
Oh, dear.
Bang! And this bottle of Bacardi smashed. It went everywhere.
Oh, dear.
Yes, it was a case of whoops-a-daisy.
Oh, dear.
But never mind. We digress. Who do you think this person is?
I think it could be Caroline Aherne.
Ah, now Gary came up with Caroline Aherne as one of the clues, didn't he? Thinking that was what led you to Ricky Tomlinson. But you think that Caroline Aherne is actually the person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Lynette from Bournemouth agrees. Also, Jennifer in Reading. We've also got Joe in North End, Barbara from Waterlooville agreeing with you too. Adam in Crawley. Dave on the M4, Anne-Marie in Nursling, and a couple of others as well. And I can tell you, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So well done. So bad luck to Gary and the gang, but I do have to go for the actual answer that they go for. Caroline Aherne was what we were looking for, which means that you are our winner. I shall hand you back to Neil.
Okay.
And he will get you details, and little bug will be on its way ASAP.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to speak to you, Hugh. You take good care of yourself.
And you too, Paul.
All the best. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. There's Hugh from Chandler's Forge. Well done to him. We'll do it all again tomorrow. And don't forget that this is the final week of our taxi competition. So if you'd like to be with another chance of winning one of my bugs, we'll do it at the same time tomorrow. And, of course, you're only the first person to get the right answer that gets one of my bugs. But well done to everybody who managed to get it right tonight. Suddenly it just hit you just like that. But there you go. Now then, what about our Bug in the Cab feature? Oh, yeah. This is where you register with us your details, your registration number, your name, your address, and also the type of vehicle that you drive. The only condition we lay down for this particular feature is that it must be you driving professionally. So it can be a cab or a taxi or a lorry or a tanker, anything like that. Log the details with us, and then each night around this time we pull out one of those registration numbers at random. I'm going to read out tonight's now. We didn't do one last night because it was bank holiday, and as these are people who were sort of working when they're listening to the programme, we thought they could have had the night off for bank holiday and it wouldn't have been fair. Okay, so that's why we didn't do one last night. But tonight's registration number is as follows. So if this is your registration number, you have until 1 o'clock, or just before 1 o'clock anyway, in order to phone through and claim your bug, all right? Tonight's registration number is AK52TOJ, okay? Alpha Kilo 52 Tango Oscar Juliet. If that is you, you've got until just before 1 to phone through, claim your bug. And if we haven't heard from you in the next hour, I will mention it again. I'll also mention it again in the third hour as well. But if it doesn't get claimed, that'll be it. Famoosh, it'll be gone. So AK52 TOJ is tonight's registration number. If that is yours, you've got about 2 hours to claim your bug.
Does he love me? I want to know. How can I tell?
Cher and the Shoop Shoop song, just coming up to 11 o'clock. News and weather with Neil in just a sec. I've got to say hi to Carol from Reading. She says, Paul, you didn't read my text out again. Carol, you mustn't take it personally, my love. We receive hundreds, and I mean literally, I don't mean 4 or 5, I mean hundreds. And there's always going to be some that we don't get to, so don't take it personally. I shall send you one of my kisses, and all is better.
Across the county and around the world.
This is BBC Radio Kent.
The 11 o'clock news, I'm Neil Sackley. woman who was left infertile by treatment for cancer has lost a 4-year battle to try and have a baby using frozen embryos from a past relationship. The Grand Chamber of the European Court of Human Rights upheld an earlier ruling that Natalie Evans' former partner, Howard Johnston, had the right to withdraw his consent after the couple split up. The embryos will now be destroyed. Mr. Johnston told a news conference he was relieved.
Of course, I'm sympathetic to the situation that she's in, but I think, again, just reiterate, I think common sense has prevailed. I want to be able to choose as and when I become a parent.
Questions tonight are being asked as to how a Surrey man on remand and charged with murdering his son died in his cell at Lewes Prison. David Field was accused of killing 6-year-old Jethro in Farncombe last Wednesday. It's thought the 52-year-old electrocuted himself. Jethro's mother has tonight paid tribute to her. 49, that the most useful and underrated household item was patented.
When 1849?
1849, you must remember that.
1849. Do we still have them now?
We do, very much do.
And they're very useful?
Very useful.
Bottle openers?
No.
Corkscrew?
No. It's always booze with you, isn't it?
No, I'm thinking of something that would be, you know, something that could have been around that time.
They really have one use, but they are so useful, and we'd be totally lost without them.
It's not the loo, is it?
No, it's not the loo.
No, thinking about Mr. Crapper now. It wasn't then. I don't know, I give up.
The safety pin.
Safety pin? I don't use safety pins.
What happens when you burst your...
Well, your elastic may go, but mine never bursts. It wouldn't dare.
This poor girl in this nightclub I was working at over the weekend. The elastic went on her smalls. Well, they were bigs.
Oh, was it bigs?
She said, she came over to me. I was DJing, and she said, I don't suppose you've got a safety pin, have you?
No, I haven't.
My elastic's gone in my knickers. So I just picked up the microphone and said, this is an emergency. This young lady has lost her knickers. Anybody got a safety pin? And
I bet
four came over.
I bet they did, standing by. Well, if she were buy cheap undies, what does she expect? I bet she got them down the market.
3 of them were blokes watching her put it back on again.
Yeah, I bet they were. Would like some assistance? Get out of it. No, we don't go there. No, I think that's awful. Safety pins holding things up. Thank you very much. Though, do you know something?
It's either that or nothing.
Yeah, well, no, she shouldn't have gone out with rotten knickers on in the first place.
We've all done it.
Yeah, you speak for yourself. What was I going to say? I've forgotten what I was going to... Oh, no, I know what I was going to say. When I was a baby, and we were babies, they didn't have these sort of disposable nappies. Well, they did, but they were very few and far between. They're far too expensive anyway. So you had the old terry toweling things.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And, of course, there was a safety pin at the front to hold it together.
Big one?
You know? Yeah. My mum's still got that.
Like on Orville?
But not that big and not like Orville, no. Do you know my mum's still got it? My safety pin, it's still there. Yeah.
I'm resisting the temptation.
Yeah, I noticed. I was just waiting for some sinister, snidey comment. Well, after you've already admitted that your elastic goes, I mean, you know. But no, she's still got it. It's still there. I don't know what she uses it for. It's just sort of there in a little box.
My mind's working overtime.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is. I can see now you're thinking of metal fatigue and rust and all sorts of things.
Holding your car together.
Yeah.
Use it to lock the car in the garage.
Yeah, that probably would work, actually. How on earth can somebody go out with knickers on where the elastic's going to go? That is so common. I'm sorry. She must have had them years. Well, to be perished. Or she had them on too hot a wash.
I mean, in her defence, she probably didn't know they were about to go.
Well, but they must have been out the arc. I mean, knickers don't just go overnight, do they?
And she was probably really giving it some with the hot rocking tunes I was playing.
Well, she had her iPod on, did she, while she was on the dance floor?
She had Westlife in one ear.
Yeah. But I mean, I've never had an elastic go.
I have. Yeah, I have.
Well, obviously standards are very low round here, you know. I mean, I wouldn't drink... No.
It's either that or you buy them too big so they don't stretch.
No.
Or I buy them too small so they do.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Buy them small, highlight the pack.
The weather.
Staying dry overnight, cloud would generally be well broken and with light winds, mist or fog patches may develop towards the morning. Minimum overnight lows 6 Celsius, 43 degrees Fahrenheit. For tomorrow, any early mist or fog patches clearing, then dry with bright or sunny spells. It's a short Wednesday. Warm in light winds, although a little cooler near the coast and offshore breezes. Maximum temperatures 19 Celsius. 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and the outlook staying dry, often cloudy, but with bright or hazy sunny spells expected for most of us.
Very nice.
Generally warm in light winds, but cooler near the coasts at times in onshore breezes. It's definitely short weather.
Yeah, it's good. Do you know that a year ago today it was snowing?
Was it?
Yes, it was on the news tonight. It was
what's
there.
The date? It's the 10th of April.
It was snowing.
It was the week before Easter.
It was snowing today, last year. There were pictures on the telly tonight.
Whereabouts?
In parts of London and parts of Kent.
Right.
And there they were on their little skis. Whee! You know, your mum's best...
Your
mum's best tray. You know,
we used to do
an
that.
antique that matches everything else. Just going to borrow this, Mum.
Oh, I know. We used to do that down Birds Hill on the tea trays.
That's not round here, is it? That's
No, it's not round here,
From where
no.
you come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do all funny things up there. But yeah, it was snowing. It's true. It was, and they showed you pictures tonight. I couldn't believe it.
Well, it was snowing here, wasn't it? A few weeks, 2 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
And we have had snow on St George's Day.
Yes,
Which is the 23rd of April.
I think we have. Yes.
Because I remember going on a parade and on St George's Day, and it's snowing whilst we were parading.
Well, there you are. You see, St George's Parade. I can just see you. There was obviously saying, what were you doing? Saying
I was the dragon.
I was going to say, you're the dragon.
I was the dragon, yeah.
Oh, well.
Being chased down the street.
Well, that would have saved on makeup and costumes and things, wouldn't it? Using you is a good idea. You know, this poor old piano that was 10,000 pieces is now 410,000 pieces.
Bless.
I mean, the thing is, this thing's price was about £45,000-ish. There won't be another one. That's it.
There's a fabulous picture on the BBC website of this with the removal man with his head in his hands going, no!
It was just so happened they were filming it as it was being moved. And of course, the most awful thought, it just happened. And this thing fell off the back of the lorry and bang, it smashed. £45,000.
What do you reckon the most searched for video clip on YouTube is going to be in the next 24 hours?
That piano.
It's got to be.
It's got to be that piano.
It has to be.
But, you know, it's weird because, you know, we've all had to move things. I mean, these were professional movers, so therefore there must be a big whoops for them. But we've all had to move things, and sometimes it can be a bit of an issue. Have you ever tried moving a house without getting a professional company in? Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, and I moved myself last time. Oh,
it's murder, absolute murder.
Never again.
When you got a three-piece suite in the back of a Fiat 126, you know, I mean, they just weren't designed for that sort of thing, were they? You know what I mean? Gas cooker out the top of a Mini. No.
And it's worse if you only move a couple of miles or a couple of 100 yards.
Yes, it's true.
When I did a move from the Midlands down here, years and years ago, did it all in one go. Packed up the old flat, shoved it in the back of a van, unpacked it at this end, all in one day. My last move...
It was a Saturday, wasn't it?
It was a Saturday.
Yes, it was in the news down here. It was called Dark Saturday.
Oh, shut your face.
They said Dark Saturday is coming down.
But then the last move I did, which was about 5 years ago, only 3 miles. It took 2 van loads in 3 days.
There you are, you see.
We could not get the sofa.
I know.
Into the living room. We had to take the doors off.
An absolute nightmare. An absolute nightmare. The thing is, of course, you know, you get these little situations, and they are desperately trying to get it sorted out. And you think, how am I going to move it? What am I going to do? It won't go through the door. It won't go down the stairs.
Or up the stairs.
Or up the stairs. Maybe you're a professional mover, and you've been in this situation as well, where you just cannot get something out. I mean, what do? I suppose you would be getting something in again that will be the problem. You know, you get it out of someone's house, and then when you get to the new house, you think, how on earth are we going to get that in there?
But they are
big old furniture.
But as you say, they are professionals. They know how to do it. I mean, they could look at something and say, right, that needs to go twisted that way, a little bit, that way. I mean, I helped one of our sports guys move last summer. Mm-hmm. It was last summer.
Only because no one else would.
Yes, I was the last resort.
We all said no.
And we had to get his sofa onto the second floor. He lives in a second floor flat, and we got it up the stairs, and then to try and get it round. Oh, it was funny. It was
not easy. It's not easy.
The Chimps to come and make us a cup of tea at some point. But we got it. But we did it in the end.
There are stories to be told, and we're going to be hearing those stories on the programme. In fact, some of them already started coming through on the text. We mentioned this a little bit earlier on, so it's going to be good. You did the weather, didn't you?
I did the weather.
Nice. Yes,
I guess it's going to be a shorts day tomorrow.
I thought you said a short day.
No, shorts.
And then I realised you did shorts. That made me think of your legs, and suddenly I sort of just clammed up and sort of thought about nightmares.
So you went a bit pale.
Oh, believe me, I did.
Paul Miller on BBC Radio Kent.
So let's have your stories of moving things, whether you're moving house, or maybe you just had a couple of items to move. Maybe you sold something, or a relative or a friend was going to have it from you, and you said, no problem, I'll bring it round, I'll get that in the back of the car. No chance. Or, of course, possibly you bought something, and you're determined not to pay the extortionate amount sometimes you have to pay for delivery. So you thought, that's okay, I'll get that home. Yeah, we'll get that in the back of the car. Then you tried to do it.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811.
Let's have those stories on the text 07786 200 961 and also the email paulmillershow@bbc.co.uk. And if you are a professional mover or removal person and you've got some great stories to tell as well, do share them with us. I mean, what do you do? You know, because when you... See, I've often found this interesting, because when you ask a company to give you a quote to move, they come round, they look at the house, see how big it is, what you've got, and say, yeah, you'll need a lorry that's this big and it'll cost this amount. But they don't see the property that you're going to, do they? And so, therefore, when you get there, when they get there, they could be confronted with all sorts of things. Winding staircases, little tiny rooms, tiny doors. How do you cope? And what about moving things just a little bit down the road? Doesn't have to be a whole moving of house, just a particular item. How did you get it there? I've got a picture in my mind of a cooker being wheeled down the street. Don't tell me that's actually been done. If you're trying to get through, hang on, the phone system's playing up again tonight, but Anil will get with you as soon as he can, okay? Just when the phone system decides it wants to work again. Just bear with us. Jack in Southampton says, Paul, who was in the taxi tonight? I missed it. I will tell you. The answer to our taxi competition was Caroline Ahern. The three answers we had, the anagram was keep it in the family. Well, it was royal family, so that's the family bit. The song was Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Caroline, of course, is her name. And number 3, the What Am I was a television. And, of course, she is on the television. And the actual character that you play is in the royal family. Of course, they're always sat round the telly, so it works in both ways. So Caroline Ahern was the answer tonight. Good. Plonk that over there. As I said, we'll do it all again tomorrow. Hey, we have got a winner for our little bug in the cab. Alan is with us from Medway. Hello, Alan.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Jolly good. So you were straight on the phone there to claim your bug tonight, which is brilliant. He'll be making his way to ASAP. Do you have somewhere nice to put him?
Plenty of room on the dash here on the Galaxy here.
And he'll be able to keep an eye on you as well.
That's right, yeah. Well, indeed. I'm quite chuffed about that, actually.
Good, that's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Tell me something, is work starting to build up a little bit now? Because I was talking to some of your colleagues last week and they said it would have been very, very quiet.
Oh, it's it's dead tonight, absolutely dead.
Really?
Well,
still
people only
quiet.
have so much money, don't they, you know?
Yeah, and I suppose also it's Easter, people are thinking about, holidays and those sorts of things.
Right, yeah, surely, yeah.
A lot of people on holiday maybe as well, the kids off and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Never mind. You can put your feet up and take it easy, Alan.
Yes, okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you know you're on about moving?
Yeah.
Well, I lived in a cottage and we bought a new bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know where we were going to get this thing up the stairs. And then when we got hold of the landlord, he said, if you're looking to lift up the carpet, there's a hole, and you've got to get it, get your furniture up from below up into the bedroom. So we lifted the carpet up, and sure enough, there's a trapdoor there.
You're joking?
And that's how we used to get the furniture.
So this trapdoor was there for that purpose?
Yeah, that's what it was there for, yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, it was a very, very, very low ceiling as well, Yeah. Anybody that was 5'7", 5'8", always come out with a nice big bruised forehead, like.
That'd have been the ideal house for me, Alan, you know. Been about 3'2", it wouldn't have been a problem. I love it. Hey, well done for getting the old bug. Glad that you rung through.
I'm chuffed about that.
Oh, it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Okay, now.
Has Neil got the details? Yep, Neil's got your details. That little bug, he'll be in the post tonight. All right.
Okay, Paul.
Take care of yourself, my friend.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. There we go. There's Alan from Medway. We'll do another one same time tomorrow. And not too late to register your details either. The only thing we say is you must be listening to the programme whilst driving professionally. So a cab, a taxi, a lorry, a tanker, anything like that. Get in contact with us. Register your details. Your name will go into our little drawer as well. And each night we pull out just one registration number and you have the duration of the programme to phone up and claim your bug, which of course there aren't many left, as I keep telling you. Just coming up to 25 past 11. It's the Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. We're talking about having to move things after this great story today about this 45 grand piano. Well, it was 45 grand. It's now 45 grand load of junk after it was dropped. You're going to see the pictures of this on the website. Absolutely terrible, it really is. But we all have these little issues from time to time, trying to move things around. Mary's on the line from Ramsgate. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Yes,
good.
You?
Well, you are now, but you weren't on this particular day.
Well, actually, I wasn't here.
What happened?
Well, my aunt and uncle live in Ireland, and they were having a turnout. So there was lots of furniture to come over, and they managed to get it on a big Pantechnicon that was coming to go across to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend came to let the furniture in, but the lorry, because it was so big, couldn't come up the road. So they had to walk all the furniture up bit by bit.
You're joking?
No.
So how far would this be, Mary? Quite a distance?
Not very far. Well, past about 10 houses, I suppose.
That's a lot when you've got very heavy cookers and beds.
Well, it wasn't cookers and things. It was chairs and there was a lawnmower and garden furniture and...
I would imagine there was some rather interesting language from the guys in the lorry when they discovered
they were very
this.
good, apparently, but I wasn't here, so I missed it all.
You missed out all the fun.
Well, all the embarrassment, yes.
But as I was saying earlier on, this must happen, mustn't it? And in fact, I've got a great email to read out shortly from somebody who actually is a removal person, whatever you call them. And this must happen quite a lot. You know, they get to these premises and think, how on earth are we going to get that lot up there?
Yes, the last house I moved into, I had to abandon all the wardrobes.
Why?
Because they wouldn't go up the stairs. They were very steep stairs, sort of Victorian house.
Oh, I see.
Then at the top, you went into one room one way and one room the other.
Right.
And they couldn't turn them around either corner.
That is strange, isn't it? Because the older houses you would have thought would have been much bigger because furniture was much bigger then, you know, in sort of Victorian times. But
the stairs were really, really steep.
Right.
And in fact, they gouged a big hole out of the wall at the top trying to do it, but we abandoned hope in the end.
Well, you get to that stage, don't you, Mary? You think, you know, I've pushed this every way possible. It's been stuck 4 times. The banisters have gone for a burn, and there's a hole in the wall. It's not going to get there.
You have to draw a line somewhere.
You certainly do. And use the good old stiff upper lip and go and make a cup of tea. It's got to be done.
Absolutely.
Lovely story. Thank you very much.
All right.
You take care, my love.
Thanks, then.
Thanks for your call.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's Mary from Ramsgate. I was just saying about this email that's come through. I love this one. This is from Paul. He says, hiya, Paul. Only been listening to your programme a couple of weeks. I do enjoy it. Thank you. Says, for a number of years I worked as a removal chappie. Didn't run the company or anything like that. Just did it for a little bit of extra money whilst I was in between jobs. There was one occasion we went to this really nice house just on the outskirts of Windsor. It was a very big house. In fact, it needed 2 lorries to get all the stuff in. We knew that where we were going was somewhere in the Midlands, but we didn't know what the house was going to be like. Only that it was not quite as big as the house that the people were moving out. They were lovely people, the nicest family you could imagine. They looked after us. They even went and got fish and chips for everybody halfway through the day. Fantastic. They had beautiful furniture. It looked like genuine antiques, and I'm sure it probably was. Very, very heavy, and we were very careful to make sure that everything was wrapped up properly. To cut a long story short, Paul, we made our way up the M6 and all these little twisty-turny roads till eventually we pulled into this house. It was like something from a movie, the most amazing house you've ever seen, the sort of thing that I probably would never be able to afford. But when we got there, we realised that this house was very, very old, and that it was several houses that appeared to have been joined together at some time or turned into one big one. It was very difficult to try and get the furniture in. There weren't two doors in this house that were the same size. The stairs were very, very awkward. In fact, there were these little tiny staircases that were twisting and turning and winding that would lead you onto little platforms that went on to little rooms. It was the biggest nightmare I've ever come across in my life. We had to tell the people after about 5 or 6 hours of pushing and shoving that a lot of the furniture was never, ever going to go into the house. It didn't. And I think probably about 20 or 30 pieces of furniture we put into the garage at the side and left it there. What they did with it, I will never know. Love it. Thank you very much for that. And also one that's come through here from Olga, who is in Rayleigh, and she says, "Paul, a couple of years ago I moved from a very small house to a much bigger house. Everything went wrong. The furniture that I thought would fit into the rooms didn't, which surprised me, bearing in mind the new house was bigger than the old one. I had some sideboards that wouldn't go through the door. I also had some units in my kitchen that I'd had taken out. They wouldn't fit in the new kitchen either. Total disaster. I wish I'd stayed where I was." Yeah, I can just imagine the language as well. Could have been interesting. Have you got a story to tell when you've had to move things, whether you're moving house or just trying to move something from A to B? How did you go about it? Did you have a problem? And I'm still looking for someone who has moved something down the street, literally wheeled the gas cooker 200 yards down the road. Do these things happen?
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
Give us a ring. The text 07786 200 961. Email paulmillerShow@bbc.co.uk. Gavin in Dorchester says, "Paul, I had a television delivered to my mobile home. The thing is, the door was too small to get the television through. Had to take the back off the telly in order to get it through in the first place." And Martin says, "Paul, the same thing happened to me with the piano. We had to lift it over the garage by hoists and pulleys to get it through the patio doors. It was awful. The problem is the hoist snapped, plunging the baby grand through the garage roof. As you can imagine," says Martin, "I was not terribly pleased at the time." And one from Peter, who says, "I left my bachelor pad about 1996. It was full of flat pack furniture, and most of it had been put together inside the rooms where I actually wanted it. You can imagine what happened. Yes. It wouldn't go through the doors. I spent 4 hours trying to dismantle something. I learnt a lesson. Flat pack furniture was not designed to be dismantled. Leave it where it is." 7 minutes to 12, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. We're around the world at bbc.co.uk. We're talking about moving things, and it may seem quite straightforward. You take it from there and you put it there. Well, yeah, that's the theory behind it. In practice, sometimes it is not so easy. What about having a settee that is one end of the road and you want to get it to the other end of the road? It's simple, isn't it, Marilyn in Luton?
Yes.
How are you, my love?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good. So tell me about this settee. Where was it going and where was it from?
Well, actually, it was my sister-in-law, Julie.
Uh-huh.
And Julie was always a bit of a character. Anyway, a bit of a tomboy, you know.
Uh-huh.
She was the type of person that would just think to herself, "Oh, get on and do it myself."
Yes.
So Julie decided that she would push this settee, which had been given to her, quite a big, heavy thing. I'm not sure exactly how far, but I know it was a good half hour's walk. And so she, was pushing this settee along through all the streets and what have you in Ilford. And
what was the settee like? It wasn't like a big flowery one, was it?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm not sure what it was like.
And this is on the pavement?
Yeah, on the pavement, yeah. Across roads and things, you know, when she needed to. The trouble was...
Is this the pedestrian crossing?
Things started to get a bit heated around the wheels. and this proceeded to sort of affect the legs, and things began to smoulder. So she did actually set fire to the thing.
Really, with the friction?
Yes.
I don't believe this. And so
yes, and that is a true story, because we often laugh about it, you know, as a family.
Yeah. So what did she do when she realised she was getting a bit heated?
I'm not
Did she
sure,
sort of stop for a while and sort of, you know, sit down and, you know...
Knowing Julie, I really couldn't
in the middle of the
say.
high street, you know, outside Woolworths. And did anybody comment? I mean, did anybody come up to her and say, excuse me, you know, would you need a hand, or what on earth are you doing?
Again, I'm not sure. I just know that she pushed this settee anyway along, and
I tell you something.
Became heated, and
so it was probably quite damaged. It was quite damaged by the time he got there. Yeah.
Yes.
I admire her though for doing it.
Yes, I do. That's just how Julie was. You know.
That takes guts, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You know, to actually just walk down the road, and of course with everyone looking at you. I mean, this isn't like the back and beyond where no one can see you. There you are, and there are people coming out of the shops with their shopping, thinking, "I don't believe what I've just seen."
Yeah, that's right, in the middle of Ilford.
Yes. There's three-piece suites.
I know. My mum once, she bought a, what are they called? A wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
In the town, and she walked it all through the town with nothing in it.
To get it home?
The crowds. Yeah, she got it home on the bus.
Well, we've had chairs on the bus tonight. I see no reason why we shouldn't have the wheelbarrow.
Don't see why we shouldn't put things on the bus like
Quite
that.
right, too. Quite right, too. What a lovely story.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But we often think of Julie and the old settee, you know, have a good laugh.
It's not the sort of thing you would forget, is it, really?
No, I don't think Julie did either.
As they say, Marilyn, where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right, yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for telling us about it, my love. Thanks for your
okay.
call. Take good care.
Okay, then.
Speak to you soon.
Can I have the frying pan?
Why?
Because I like it. Every time you do it, it makes me laugh.
Well, what have you done? People get the frying pan if they annoy me or upset
but it
me.
just makes me laugh. I like it.
You like the frying pan? Is this something you want to share with us? You know, is there something that we need to know?
I just like the frying pan. I think it's
Really?
hilarious.
Well, all I can say to you, there you go.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Now I'm one of the people that have got the frying pan.
You've been frying pan, honey.
I have, yes. I've been initiated.
Oh, you've done more than that.
Okay, then.
No, my sweet.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye. There you go. There's Marilyn from Luton. You'll know her. She's got a thing about being hit with a frying pan. Each to their own, I suppose. Alan, who's sent me an email from British Columbia, Canada, says, Paul, my friend, yes, I do have one, built an absolutely beautiful yacht in his basement. You're already there, aren't you? This sweet little thing was only 18 foot long, but it had quite a broad beam. It took him 5 years to complete. Well, says Alan, one day he was to take it to the water. He gave me a call and said, could you possibly come round and help me move it? Yes, I said. When I got there, he handed me a wrecking bar and a £5 sledgehammer. I said, what the heck am I going to do with that? He said, you're going to knock the blinking wall down. So I said, whatever for? He says, well, the boat won't go through the door, will it? And so we literally had to demolish the wall at the side of his house in order to get this boat out. We did it, and we succeeded. It's from Alan, British Columbia, Canada. Thanks very much for that. I think of the problem to put the thing back together again as well. And also, Paul says, Paul, when my wife moved back in 1995, we moved just 2 doors down the road to a 9-bedroom detached house. Well, Liz, my wife, was 8 3/4 months pregnant at the time and landed the job of using a brand new pram that we had bought for our first to ferry the small bits and bobs up and down. You can imagine, can't you? We ended up so far behind that I was even asking people who were just walking past the house to carry something. I was like, excuse me, you couldn't take this down to number 21, could you? I'll tell you something, though. We got there in the end, and we did have a laugh at the same time. I bet you did. And also, who's this one come through from? This is from Peter in Fareham. He says, as you say, many problems. 18 years moving people's house contents every day is a problem. The one that makes me laugh is the piano we had on a house move in Fareham for a Chinese lady. An old custom was to put a bowl of water in the bottom of the piano to keep it moist, apparently. Well, the porters I had working with me were unaware of this, and the old boys would always check the piano for this, but obviously the young ones didn't know. Well, the piano had to be tipped on its end to get it around a corner. That was it. The customers watching this, and water began to pour out of his piano. Most embarrassing. Well, we all laughed for a few quick remarks, and then you can imagine, can't you, the joke started coming out. Oh, it's playing Handel's Water Music. Somebody else said, no, it's a song by Wet, 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 or maybe it's River Dance. We hope that they found the funny side as we did. And that's from Peter in Fareham. I'm sure they did. We got a few more of your stories to come, some absolute corkers here. And the thing that makes them even more amusing is that people just do this and don't take any notice at all. So, what have you had to move?
Across the county and around the world.
This is BBC Radio Kent.
The Midnight News, I'm Neil Sackley. Questions tonight are being asked as to how a Surrey man on remand and charged with murdering his son died in his cell at Lewes Prison. Fraud more than ever.
Is this a survey?
According to a survey out today.
I always look forward to this moment.
It's a new report. There were 66.4 million trips overseas from the UK in 2005, more than treble the figure for 1981, according to the Office for National Statistics. Excuse me. Mainland Spain and the Canary Islands were the most popular places visited by plane in 2005, with the United States and Ireland coming second and third, respectively. That's for people travelling by air. Now, air travel accounted for 81% of all overseas trips made from the UK in 2005.
Well, it's better than 6 weeks on a blinking boat, isn't it, you know?
Well, it was 60% in 1981, and in the same period, 81 to 2005, sea travel dropped from 41% to 12%.
Don't blame them either, I don't do the same.
I like going on a boat.
Yeah, but it takes forever.
It's part of the holiday.
Bouncing around on that thing with people that get on your wick, no thank you. There's always some stupid woman playing the piano or something, and oh no, I can't be doing with that.
You're a fan then?
Yeah, big fan.
I quite like going on them. I don't like the fast jet type boats. I don't like those. The ones
but they
that
don't have them
skim
going across the Atlantic, do they?
No, but I'm going across the Channel though.
Oh, yes.
Oh no, couldn't do that. But the big boats, no problems whatsoever. I love it.
No, don't do that.
Did an 8-hourer from Greece, from Athens down to... we stopped off at a few islands. I can't remember which island we ended up at.
8 minutes will be enough for me.
Now, 8 hours down was good. Coming back, I had to get the fast jet coming back, otherwise I wouldn't have made the flight. And with the day to go, I thought, I really can't do this. We can't do the fast jet.
I wouldn't have done it anyway.
So I managed to sell the ticket on the quayside. Only got €5 less than I paid for it, and I bought a flight.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and then did the flight back to Athens.
Oh, that seems
I just
reasonable.
couldn't face it.
No, I don't do the water anyway, as you know. I can't be doing with it. And as for
cruises,
that's right. Oh, cruise! I can't think of anything worse.
Trying to get you onto the Isle of Wight that year was just the funniest thing.
That is bad enough. Nothing wrong with the Isle of Wight. It's the getting there. Oh, I don't do boats. I don't do boats. I don't care how big they are. I don't do boats. The thought of going on a cruise is just ugh.
You even had wobbling knees when you went on the Royal Navy flagship aircraft carrier, didn't you?
Did as well, yes. That wasn't too bad, though, actually. I must admit.
Those things don't rock around in port.
No, they don't. No, that was all right. No, that was all right. It was but it's the rest of it. And I don't get the cruise thing. It's a hotel that you're stuck on. You can't get off.
I do. I've done a cruise. It's
no,
all right.
I don't do cruise.
It was good fun.
You couldn't pay me enough to do a cruise.
Want to bet?
No, you could not. I just don't go there. You're stuck on a you're just stuck in a hotel that you can't get away from. You are just there. That's it for day after day after day.
There's cruises and there's cruises.
I mean, there's same old people.
There's some that go sort of round the Med, and
you drive me around the.
You're in a different resort every day. Ugh. You spend all day at the resort. You get on, you go to bed, you get up, and you're in a different country.
Nah, don't do
Nothing wrong with that. And it's some spectacular views. Yeah. If you get around the fjords, or like I did last year, going down through the Marlborough Sounds in New Zealand.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Sounds great. Yeah, I'll fly there and observe
scenery you
the scenes.
Can't see anywhere else.
Well, no one would have seen it like you anyway. Because the colours would have been.
What about a canal trip?
No, I don't do that. That's even worse. That's awful. Boring. Those things only do 1 mile an hour, and then you've got to get out and open up those gates and no, I don't.
They're called locks.
They're gates for me. I don't know if they've got locks on them or not, but I certainly don't do... No, I couldn't do that either.
See what I have to put up with every night?
No, don't go there.
Happy little soul, isn't it?
Absolutely. If it doesn't involve water, I'm perfectly okay. I just don't do boats and things.
Baths?
Yeah, I do baths.
Oh, sorry,
I do baths. Yeah, been there a couple of times. Yep.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you, yes. Every April. What is the weather doing? No baths there, is there? No water at all, apparently. It's going to be really dry.
No, staying dry overnight. Cloud generally well broken with light winds. Mist or fog patches, though, developing towards morning. Minimum overnight lows, 6 Celsius, 43 degrees Fahrenheit. For the rest of Wednesday, early mist or fog patches clearing, then dry with bright or sunny spells. Warm in light winds, although a little cooler near the coasts. Maximum temperatures for Wednesday, 19 Celsius, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, getting close to the magical 70 Fahrenheit. Aren't we? Outlook staying generally dry, often cloudy with bright or hazy sunny spells as expected. Generally warm, but cooler near the coasts.
Very nice too. Very nice too.
Lovely, jubbly.
Yeah. I do like the idea of these things going on the bus. I like the chairs.
Yes.
That made my day. I quite like that. I can just imagine because you know what we're like in this country. We don't say anything. We just think all the more. And so there you'll be sat on the bus with your shopping basket, you know, going along as you do. And you think, oh, there's a woman there with two dining room chairs.
Oh, we've got a peach of a bus journey to come.
I'm waiting to hear from a bus driver or a bus conductor who has actually had to deal with some of this stuff. I mean, what would you actually be allowed to take on? Where would they draw the line? I mean, you know, at what stage will they say, I'm sorry, you can't bring that on here, ma'am? You know.
You see, in days past, I mean, you'd remember the buses with the open backs. Ooh. It would have been easier to get big things
Roadmasters,
on.
yes. They only got rid of them a few years ago. They were proper buses.
But nowadays, of course, with all the twists and turns and the what do you call it, the doors at the front, and you have to go past the driver. So you could sneak stuff on when the driver was at the front in the car. But
in actual fact, you could go up and down Regent Street during peak, and you could get on the bus and off again, and without even paying, no one would know. You know, you could just hang on the back. Well, if you're my size, you can be seen anyway. You know?
No, that's right.
So it did make an awful lot of difference.
But if you were Frank Spencer, you'd have your roller skates on hanging onto the pole.
This is very true. This is very true. But I just wonder where they would draw the line, how much they would allow you to take on.
I'm trying to think if I'd...
Stuffed polar bear?
If I ever tried carrying anything back on a bus that perhaps I shouldn't have done, or should have paid to have removed, I don't think so.
There may be guidelines, official guidelines, you know.
Maybe it's to the discretion of the driver.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely.
Pushchair? No, sorry.
Yeah, you can't have that.
You can't take bikes on them now.
Can you not?
Well, some of them you can't, unless they fold up. And of course, you've got to think of the other passengers as well. I mean, if you're there with your bike, bashing into... I mean, pushchair's different because you've got a baby in it. But if you've got a push bike, well, surely you should be riding it. Not putting it on a bus and getting in the way of the
people
passengers.
do that, don't they? Like people get on trains with bikes and things like that. But I suppose a train's a bit different.
I do that.
It takes you a bit further, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do that. I put my bike on the train.
But I hope you don't put the train on the bike.
No.
I mean, that's going to be safe to see. I can see buckled wheels, you know. But no, I mean, there must be guidelines. Maybe if there's any any bus drivers listening, they can tell us what the guidelines are, what you can and can't.
Or maybe any guards that have seen some unusual things carried on.
I'm sorry, you can't bring that on here. Well, how's my husband supposed to get to the shops then? You know. So there's got to be an answer. There's got to be an answer. I'm sure we will find one.
But we have got some crackers to come. I've been sitting in there almost crying with laughter.
Yeah, I've been.
I'm going to go and answer some more phones.
Are you going to make some tea?
No, I don't have time for that.
Ah, well. Past 12, Paul Manor Show from the BBC in the South, talking about moving things. And we've had so many calls, and the emails and the texts gone mad as always. Do as many of them as we can, but I suppose really this just goes to illustrate that we've all, at some stage or other, had to move something. And it may be quite straightforward until you actually try to do it. And then, yes, exactly. What about moving something like a collection of cuddly toys? Happens. Anne sent me a text. Says, Paul, a friend of mine was moving one street back completely by hand. They had loads and loads of fluffy toys. I can remember going backwards and forwards with boxes of them. All the neighbours were watching. We didn't see a problem with it at the time. And also Andy in Bicester says, Paul, you mentioned flat pack a little bit earlier on. Well, my brother built his motorbike in an upstairs flat. Trying to get it down the stairs round the corners was not easy. We did manage to do it eventually, though, although it did take us a while. And Kathy from Copner says, enjoying the programme, thank you. When we moved house to the next road, my young son was still asleep in his bed when we pushed him round the corner. I don't think he was too bothered about it. And Chrissy from Oxford says, the only furniture that I've ever bought on a bus was a coffee table. Problem was, we had to take it upstairs. I'm not quite sure what the people on the top decks thought, though, when they saw this table rising up out of the stairwell. Certainly nobody said anything. And Lee from Haywards Heath says, hi, Paul, me again. I've given up looking for the kettle as I found a box with the rum and whiskey. Not sure if it will speed up the unpacking. Lee from Haywards Heath, who's just moved into a new house. Don't you worry about the unpacking. You just enjoy that box. Sounds to me as though that could be an exciting one. Yeah. So things people have taken on the bus. We've had coffee tables on the bus. We've had dining room chairs. We've had bikes. You name it. But I'll tell you something. Nothing's going to beat this one. Let's go to Ringmer and speak to Audrey. Hello, Audrey.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I mean, I've got a little note on the screen here as to what you're going to say, and this is amazing. What on earth happened? And how come?
I took a crocodile. Sorry, I took a crocodile on the bus.
A crocodile?
Yes.
I take it this thing wasn't alive and snapping?
No, it was about 5 foot tall, but it was stuffed.
Oh, it was stuffed. It was very
yes.
It was very dead.
Yes.
So this is something that, what, you had bought or was yours or
well,
what?
My dad was an engineer at the laundry, and they used to get peculiar things dumped on them, these laundry drivers. And one of them was this stuffed crocodile. And it was quite a joke that we took it round the neighbourhood and stuck it on someone's front door, knocked and run away, in the dark. And then everybody had a turn, so I took it to work, and it meant going on the bus.
So there you were, standing at the bus stop?
No, yes.
With this thing?
Yeah.
Did anybody say anything to you?
No.
Did anybody pass
people
comment?
Don't.
See, this is it. They don't, do they? I mean,
No.
you sort of look all the more.
Mind you, it was during the war, so it could have been a...
Maybe people had other things on their mind.
Yeah.
But you don't expect it, do you?
No.
And I can just imagine the clippy or the conductor.
And I heard it went to a pub in the end.
Oh, right.
But I don't know where.
But
it was quite a nice little thing, though. Well, quite a long thing.
Yes,
and because you couldn't get wrapping paper during the war, so it had newspaper as far as it would go, but even that was short.
So was the head sticking out the top or the tail?
Yeah, the head was sticking out.
How can you possibly sit on a bus, though, Audrey,
Well,
with a lady sitting next to you with this, newspaper thing with a head sticking out the top and not say anything?
Well, they don't, do they?
No, they don't. It's very true.
I think they might these days, but they didn't anyway.
You could pass comment and say, excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking you this. And you know full well what they're going to ask you. And
It's fair.
So you wouldn't have the time, would you, by any chance? I love it.
No, well, crocodiles tick, don't they?
Pardon?
Crocodiles tick, don't they?
Do they?
Well, they do in Peter Pan.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, he swallowed the clock, didn't he?
Oh, of course, yes. So I'm with you. I'm thinking of real
this
ones.
This one didn't, anyway.
Just as well it did. I'm going to go bang. It's a good story, Audrey. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice programme.
Bless you. Nice to speak to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, my love. Bye-bye. Audrey from Ringmer. And before we speak to Mamie in Tunbridge, just had a text come through here from Brian. He's in Oxford. He said, Paul, I worked on the buses for a number of years in the 60s and 70s. You'll be surprised what people tried to bring on. I think the worst, though, was actually a dining room chair. And I do mean a big dining room chair. I can remember at the time having to go and ask the driver whether he would allow it on the bus. It was quite quiet, to be honest. We were on a very quiet route, and we said, yep, no problem at all. So this thing was just perched on the back of the bus. It was one of the open-backed buses, and it was there, I suppose, for about 7 or 8 stops. We then helped this lady off with it, and then she carried on wheeling it up the road. Goodness knows where she was taking it. But I think that's probably the most outrageous thing that anybody ever tried to get on a bus. Brian, thank you. Much appreciate that. Just gone 12:20. Mamie's in Tunbridge. Hello, Mamie.
Oh, hello, Paul.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Enjoying the show.
Thank you. So, no crocodile this time?
No crocodile. Oh, but this was so funny. Now I think about it and it worries me. But, but I was on a bus and I just happened to see my father coming down a road which was going to come into the same road that I was on.
Yeah.
And my father was on his bike, which is an old-fashioned sit-up-and-beg one.
Yeah.
And he had a galvanised bath over his head, hanging down his back.
Whilst going along on the bike?
Whilst going along. And I watched him and expected him to fall off at any minute.
Well, how could he see where he was going?
I don't really know. Well, it was just draped over his head. I don't know. He just probably knew the way by heart.
Well, yeah, probably did. I was looking down and was recognising the ground or something.
Yes, that's all it was. But, oh, God, it was funny. But I often think, what if he tried it now?
I wouldn't get very far, would he?
Wouldn't get very far, no.
Where would he get the bath from? So where was he trying to take it,
He
Mamie?
was taking it home because I had recently come back home. We were in the Air Force and I was home on leave and I didn't have a baby bath.
Right.
And I suppose he acquired it from where he was working and brought it home to me. But I'd much rather he hadn't.
Well,
I
yes.
saw what he was doing.
Or maybe you could have found some slightly more conventional ways
I'm sure he could.
to get this thing from A to B. I mean, you can just imagine, can't you, this bath on his head.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's on a bike and wobbling.
I know.
This is the picture that I've got. Everyone's saying, mind out for this bloke, you know.
Oh, yes, but thank God he wasn't very busy.
Yes.
He just missed the bus and carried on, and I watched him and had my heart in my mouth all the way home.
Did you say something to him?
When I got home, I exploded. I was so worried about him because he was quite elderly at that time.
But I suppose he didn't see anything wrong. He needed to get this bath from A to B, and that was the way to do it.
That's the way he did it, yeah.
What a lovely story. You could make up a sketch, couldn't you, or a whole film of little sketches of moving things from A to B.
Oh, you could.
Because I think we've all been there at one stage or another.
Yes, but that was terrific.
Brilliant story. Mamie, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Lovely to
Bye-bye,
speak
Paul.
to you. Bye-bye, my love. Bye-bye. It's true, sometimes you do come across these problems and, you just cannot get these things from A to B. On the text, 07786 200 961. Sarah from Portsmouth says, Paul, my mum and dad gave me a fridge, which was great. I had to move it, though. I walked 1.5 miles by trolley through Portsmouth town centre. Had to get it through somewhere. Were people looking? Yeah, they probably were. And Steve on the A34 says, Paul, I lived in Malaysia for a while. It was quite a common thing for the locals to bring on the bus animals. Oh, yes. For example, you could be sat on the bus and somebody would get on with a live chicken, crabs, goats, you name it, it was all there. Fair to say, says Steve on the A34, the food was very, very fresh indeed. You're telling me it was. And Margaret from Camberley says, when my son moved from Maidenhead to France, they were going to a 4th-floor flat in the centre of Paris. Now, they hired a French removal firm thinking it would be much easier as they knew the type of buildings that they were moving to and the problems, would be fine. The problems involved, rather. Well, the removal firm assured my son they would arrange for a special lift to get the furniture through the windows, which they told him wasn't that uncommon in Paris. Well, they all arrived at the flat. Well, they did. The special lift didn't. All the furniture, says Margaret, had to be manhandled up the narrow curved staircase as the lift was only just big enough for 2 people. The removal men were not amused, although, when they realised that it was all the firm's fault. Having had to walk up those stairs a good few times when the lift wasn't working, I know just how hard it must have been for them. Love the programme. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Margaret. That's Margaret from Camberley. And also, where was the other one? One has come through from, Lucy, who's in Madrid. Says, Paul, loving the programme tonight. Talking about pianos, I bet you can't get the best Spanish lesson that I ever had. It was when the removal people brought our grand piano home. It was about a week after we actually moved, middle of July, and way up in the 40s we were too, centigrade that is, of course. And it had to be done by a special company at a special price too. However, I'd better mention that we do live on the 5th floor, and the company consisted of middle-aged, rather stout gentleman and his 2 sons. Well, what I hadn't already learnt in 2 years, I learnt in one afternoon. It took them over 2 hours to get this instrument up those stairs, and the language was rather colourful. That was probably the best Spanish lesson ever. That's from Lucy, who's listening online in Madrid. Lovely to hear from you as always. And a text from this would be me, this would. Text from Catherine, who says, Paul, a couple of years ago, I was on the bus with my boyfriend at the time. We were just making our way quite happily along the road, going to the shops, when a lady got on with a full set of garden furniture. I mean, the lot. Everything. They didn't stop her. I don't think they charged her anything for it either, but we certainly found it rather amusing, to say the least. Dave in Poole built a table in the kitchen. Years later, they decided to take it out, but that was going to be a problem because it was actually, well, it was too big to go through the door. But because he's built it so well, he could take it to bits, but he did have to saw the legs off in order to do so. They got it out, though, eventually. And also, Vicky rung through from Worthing saying that the buses in Canada have bike racks on the front. So what you do is you get your bike and you stick it on the front of the bus. Oh, I'm thinking of Butler and Stan and Olive and what have you here, aren't you? Yeah, don't even go there.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
There'll be Olive getting on with her bike. Alpha! Alpha! Oh, my God. Fond memories. Fond. Do you remember on one of the films they made about on the buses, when Stan wasn't very busy one day, he took a detour from his bus route and went and picked up his mum's washing or something, and there he was, putting up outside the laundry in this great big double-decker bus and coming out with the laundry. And I think then soon after that, didn't he go and pick up some furniture or something? There was a double bed or something like that. And there are all these people wondering why he was late. Love it. Keep the stories coming. It's going to be your last chance to get through. It's coming up to 12:30. Paul Miller Show for the BBC in the South. You can always text 07786 200 961 and the email Paul Miller Show, that's all one word, Paul Miller Show @bbc.co.uk. Talking about moving things, and to tell you, this was something we just touched on very briefly a little bit earlier on, but there are so many amazing stories coming through. I think that we could possibly go on for about the next 4 weeks, constantly talking about these things. The phones are going absolutely mad. Some lovely stories. And incidentally, the story about the piano that started this all off, if you've got access to digital television, have a look at BBC News 24 and you will see the story. They've started to run it, and there's also some pictures on there as well of the actual the piano itself being manoeuvred. And considering this thing was worth about £45,000, it's not good. And there's one shot in particular of the gentleman working for the removal firm with his hands on his head, and you can just imagine what was going through his mind, thinking, oh my goodness, I just hope they're well insured. Yeah, absolutely. Jack is in Bracknell. She's well insured. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well indeed.
I wouldn't be saying, oh my goodness, with my hands on my head. I'd be saying something else.
I think he probably was, actually.
Golly gosh.
It was worse than that.
I bet it was.
Because they were filming this because it was such a special piano and it was such a delicate operation, and they had it all padded up in this. It looks like, I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures, but it looks like some sort of padded, I know, like a big eider down they wrapped it in, but it was obviously well padded. And they got it up onto the back of this lorry and they were lifting it on like a hydraulic lift. And then suddenly something went wrong and it just went over and smashed on the floor and went down this short embankment, and the thing is just it's destroyed. And it's an antique. It's worth 45 grand at least.
It's like that, isn't it that painting or something abroad where somebody actually scratched it with a knife or something accidentally, and it's gone down by about £500,000 or something now.
And that guy who knocked over, I think he fell over, this was last year or the year before, fell over in a gallery, and he knocked a Ming vase or something, and it smashed to smithereens. And they said, don't worry, it's only worth about 3 million, you know. was. You know, and he sort of got hold of the bits as much as they could. We stick them together. And they're the people saying, no, you can't stick it together. It's now worth about 4 and 11 if you're lucky.
Yeah, but even if it was insured, you're still not going to get that vase back, are you?
Nope. Finito.
Oh, dear.
There you
me.
go.
I don't think I would like to be a removal person, would you?
No. Well, no, especially my size, no.
No, well, I wasn't thinking talking of that,
that would not be a good idea.
No.
Not a good
They
idea.
have those lifts, don't they?
I'd need more than a lift. I'd need more than a lift. It's a springboard. So there you were, Jackie, moving these wardrobes.
Well, what happened was back in 1984-85, I was moving into my first house, and I inherited quite a bit of furniture from my parents because they kind of were splitting up. And on the last day, we decided to try and get down the last wardrobe. Well, this wardrobe would not go down the stairs. You tried at every angle, it would not go down.
Did it go up the stairs originally?
That's what we thought. My mother was saying, well, you know, it went up the stairs, it's got to come down the stairs.
Well, yeah, quite.
Well, anyway, we decided on the Thursday afternoon, removal van went, we left the wardrobe behind. Talking to my father at about 11 o'clock in the evening, I said, I bet you're having problems with that wardrobe, aren't you? And I said, yes. He said, well, you do realise it comes apart, don't you?
You mean you had been fiddling around with this thing for hours?
We had been fiddling it for hours.
And didn't realise it came to pieces?
No. So anyway, the following morning, because we still had the keys, at 6 o'clock, we flew back to the house, me and my friend, a little Honda Civic.
Yeah.
We took this wardrobe apart, and we then packed the Honda Civic out with this wardrobe.
All in pieces?
All in pieces. Now, the problem was, for me to drive it back to where I was going to live, I couldn't see out of the left-hand side of the car or the back end of the car. Luckily, we had a roof, a sunroof, so my friend, and also when we were actually putting the wood into the car, the wardrobe, we broke the indicators. So my friend had this wonderful idea. Well, I know what, I can stand up at the back of the car and I can tell you when you can pull out of traffic, etc.
So this is head through the sunroof?
Head through the sunroof.
As a lookout?
As a lookout. Giving hand signals around. You can
that is so illegal.
I know it is.
And you didn't come face to face with the police?
No, 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get through the traffic. You can imagine when I turned
I'm
up.
there.
Can you imagine me turning up at my new house?
And they thought, we got a right one moving in next door. I thought, this is day one.
And the thing is, after 20-odd years, that wardrobe is still in pieces. We haven't got, because we lost the actual bolt things to put it together.
Because that's half the battle, isn't it? You take something to pieces, and quite often you forget which bit goes where.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, blow it, shove it in a box, and that's where it stays.
We did. We just put it in a little plastic bag, and of course, then when we just moved into the actual house, I must have put it down somewhere. That then got moved somewhere else, and to this day, we cannot find these bolts. But I'm not getting rid of the wood because it's blooming good wood.
Yeah, no, don't want to do that.
But yeah, it's just so funny, you know, going through the traffic at 9 o'clock in the morning, going, right, you can go now, now.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, you know, hand signals, everything.
And thought nothing of it at the time, probably.
No, because I was just more worried about getting this wardrobe over to the other side of Brighton.
But aren't you glad that you did manage to take the thing to pieces? Because I can see this whole wardrobe sticking out the top of the car otherwise.
I don't think the car would have done it, to be honest with, because we wouldn't have been able to get it down the stairs. We would have just had to have left it behind for whoever was going to move into that other house. But
some years ago, a friend of mine moved into a flat, and he bought a new settee, and it was quite a big settee as well. And he got that home from the shop to his flat in a 2CV.
Yeah.
He just wound the top down and put this thing in, but the thing is, it was sticking up vertically out the top. And you know what a 2CV's like anyway? It's very sort of, bouncy.
Yeah.
And he said, and when he went round a couple of corners a bit sharp, obviously this whole contraption was top heavy. And he could feel it going over to one side. He thought, whoa,
Yeah.
And he did it, though.
But he did. Well, the thing is, if you want that piece of furniture somewhere, you will find a way of getting it there. You really would.
Jackie, those old words are, where there's a will, there's a way.
And we found the way, and we got the will to do it.
Brilliant
but it's just
story.
the way my father just said, you do realise it comes apart. The air was blue, I can assure you.
I can imagine.
Never
and
mind.
it's still apart now.
It's still apart now.
Never mind. Lovely story.
No problem at all. But you have to do the one about the cruise ships one night as well, because I've got another story for you on that one.
Well, people who do cruise ships.
Yes, I've been on one. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because it'll spoil it, but let's just say I'm still traumatised after 12 years.
Yeah,
and when
I'm not
got
surprised.
back on dry land, I kissed the ground like the Pope.
Yeah, I'd have done the same thing.
It was awful.
We don't do
Absolutely
cruises.
horrendous.
I don't do cruises either. We'll do that one night.
You have to.
It's on the list.
Thank you.
Take care, my love.
And you. Bye-bye.
Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jackie from Bracknell with a wardrobe down the stairs. They're good at that, aren't they, mums and dads or relatives? They watch you struggling for hours and they say, you do know that if you undo that bolt, it comes into two pieces, don't you? No, I didn't. And you didn't tell me either. Thank you. So we're back to the bus then. What else is going on the bus? Terry's in Crawley. Hello, Terry.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Fine. How are you?
Yeah, when I was a younger man, I used to live in Muswell Hill.
Yep.
Dad wasn't, we say, he didn't like spending his money much, so one day I decided to go out and buy some lino for the fitting boom. And I had to get it from Wood Green up to Muswell Hill.
Right.
So I've got it, picked it up, got on a trolley bus.
Oh, not with the lino.
Yeah.
How was this, like a roll of lino?
Yeah.
How long was it?
It was about 7 foot long. And I was standing on the, where the conductor stands.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, that's all right, chap. He said, just hold it. He said, you're only going 2.5 miles.
No.
Anyway, I got down to the North Circular Road at about near New Southgate. Then from there, I had to carry it another 1.5 miles home.
So there you are, walking down the road with this. It must have weighed a ton.
It did.
Because lino is very heavy.
The best thing was, when Dad come back from holiday, he said, well, how the hell did you get it here?
So did you tell him?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the bus, of course.
He said, you must be an idiot. But then the best thing was, he used to have a nice lion mug that we put on the top of it. And my dear sister decided to wash it, and it shrunk, and he went mad.
I bet he did. He went mad.
Yeah, because he was out out in the tropics.
Yeah.
Bought this lion mug, and it looked quite nice on this new red lino we bought. And of course, my sister one day said, I think I washed that, and of course it shrunk to about half its size, and he went through the ceiling.
Not the sort of thing you can just pop down to Woolies and replace, is it, really?
No. But he was a lovely old boy, he's gone now. But
did you have to pay for this lino to go on the bus, the trolley bus? You didn't?
No.
And they didn't look at you a bit old-fashioned as much as to say,
they did, yeah,
we've got the right one here.
But I think he said, why worry about it? He said, you're only going 2 miles down the road.
And was the bus quite empty?
No, it's full up downstairs.
So it was chocker?
Yeah, and I was just standing on, where the conductor stands, because the trolley bus was a bit bigger than an ordinary bus.
Yes.
And as I say, I held it all the way to New Southgate, and then got off of it and walked it 1.5 miles home.
And I can just imagine people in that area saying, God blimey, mate.
Well, that's it.
Where you get that? Where do you nick that from?
Well, my sister said to me, she wasn't at home at the time. She come home, she said, where'd you get that from? I said, I bought it. But that wasn't the hardest part. It was trying to get the money out of the old man.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Because he was away, and he said, I can't afford that.
And you thought, well, I'll tell you something. There's no way I'm taking it back.
No, because I'd already cut it up and laid it. Oh, they were the days, Paul.
That is a great... I cannot believe so many people have had these fantastic stories of, of when they've been moving things around and the stuff that's gone on buses. And I still keep seeing in my mind that lady pushing that settee down the high street and the wheels are on fire. I mean, that is just classic, isn't it?
But today you couldn't do it, could you? Because it'd be all under these regulations.
Oh, there'll be some...
That's it. Somebody put
person somewhere, Health and safety says you can't do. Yeah, well, you sit on that.
The boss says you can't carry that on the bus.
Yeah, well, you just sit on it and shut up. Mind your own business.
Anyway, Paul, thanks for talking. And just
pleasure.
One quick thing.
What's that?
Last week you read a request for my mother-in-law, who was 86.
Right.
She didn't hear it, but the wife wants to thank you anyway for what you've done for her.
Oh, that's a pleasure. Same as she wasn't listening at the time, though.
Well, no, she's 86, and of course it was the one night she decided to go to bed before midnight.
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
just one of those things.
I'm thanking you for what you've done.
Not a problem at all. Yeah,
anyway,
lovely to speak to you, Terry.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Bless
Have a good evening, mate.
And you, take care. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there's the old lino on the bus. Not a problem. Kay rung through from Hawley. She said that her daughter moved house in Canada, and because of where she is, she moved house using sleighs. Just slide it along. Well, no friction would work, wouldn't it? Violet in Southampton's daughter moved to the Isle of Wight by boat. They've everything piled up on the boat. The dog was sat on top of the whole lot for the trip across the Solent. It worked. They got there in one piece. Could you see people now going past in their Sunseekers and what have you? Hello! Lovely day for moving, isn't it? Yes, rather. There's the dog plonked on the top. Got this picture in my mind. I've got a very vivid imagination, as you may have gathered. And Phil in Hove used to be an undertaker and said he had a problem with a coffin once getting stuck in the grave. The widow turned to him and said he was awkward when he was alive too. 12 minutes to 1, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. Jean is in Bournemouth. Hello, Jean.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I've got one thing to say to you, bathroom.
Yes. Well, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, I decided I'd have a new bathroom.
Very nice too.
So my son said he'd fit it for me when I was on holiday. So we went to DIY store at Fleetsbridge, and they couldn't deliver it. So he says, well, we'll take it home in the car, Mum.
He's got a big estate car or something.
No, it's a Seat Ibiza.
Oh.
Not overly large.
I mean, well, that's not the sort of car that's designed for moving bathrooms around in, is it?
Did the job.
So how on earth did you get it all in?
We unpacked it all and we got the toilet and the basin and all the bits and pieces in, which left the bath.
Well, yes, this is the best bit.
And one rather large 15-stone son. So we put him in the passenger seat at the front and we put the bath over the seat.
So he was inside?
He was inside, yes.
And then who drove home?
I drove home, pensioner that I am.
How did you keep a straight face, or was the whole thing...
I didn't. And I'm looking under the bath and I said to him, have you got your seatbelt on? And he said, seatbelt, Mother? I don't think if the police stop us, they'll say, excuse me, sir, have you got your seatbelt on?
That's the last thing on their mind, they're thinking seatbelt.
He says, I think, madam, you're seriously overloaded.
And so you've got the loo in the back and the...
it's a little hatchback, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, then you've got all the fittings and everything that go with all the taps and pipes and bits and bobs.
Yeah. All the whole lot. The
and so,
three-piece suite.
Did you have quite a long journey back to your home or not?
Oh, back to Red Hill. Not Red Hill in Bournemouth.
Right.
Yeah. During the rush hour, round about Fleetsbridge.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So there you are at the traffic lights.
Yeah.
And you've got this bath next to you.
Yeah.
And were people sort of looking through and thinking, what's going on in there? Well, I'd have been the same as you. I'd look straight ahead.
Well, yes, I did.
I'm not taking any notice.
Yeah,
I'm having nothing to do with this at all, you know?
Yes, I know.
And then when, of course, you got home, you then had to get out and gently remove this bath.
Exactly, yes.
And hopefully, you know, your son was okay underneath.
Yeah.
Was he in one piece?
Yeah, he's survived.
He lived to tell the tale?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That is just brilliant. If only people had cameras.
Yeah.
Moments like that. You can imagine security guards, can't you, saying, here, come and look at this. And there you are.
I can't believe it now.
Well, the thing is, I can see it in my mind.
Yeah.
And it's this putting up at the traffic lights, you know, and there you are in your car, and you look to the side and you think, there's a bath in the front of that.
I don't believe it.
In the front of that car, you know?
I know.
Well,
I've done some crazy things in my life, but I think that was one of the funniest.
It's got to be done, Jean.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
It's got to be done. I mean, otherwise, how would you have got it home?
Exactly, yeah.
Got to be done.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, my love. Bye-bye. There's Jean from Bournemouth. A couple of quickies to squeeze in here. These are just amazing. Diane from Farnborough sent an email through saying, Paul, this is not an item of furniture, but a soft toy. I'd taken my niece up to the Ideal Home exhibition. Within about an hour, my niece had won a white polar bear. Well, we carried this thing around all the time we were at the exhibition. When we left the show, we got the tube back to Waterloo. That was okay, as the tube wasn't too busy. But then when we got back onto the train at Farnborough, it was packed. And it was then, Paul, that I realised just how big this soft toy was. It was about 6 foot tall. I can assure you that people on the train were not amused. My niece sat down. I never saw her again until we arrived at Farnborough. The comments were how stupid bringing that thing on a train. But how on earth we were supposed to get it home? It had to be done. Diane in Farnborough, I don't see a problem with that. No. I think it's probably reasonable that, you know, should do these sorts of things. Of course it is. Also, what else have we got here? George in Romney Marshes. Paul, some years ago, my father invariably went to the local cattle market, some 20 miles away, by bus. Now, often he would arrive back home with all manner of different things purchased at the market. For example, a large round of cheese, day-old chicks, gardening implements, But the best was when he travelled home on a double-decker bus, stood on the rear platform where the conductor normally would stand, clutching a live goose by the scruff of the neck. Imagine what people thought. George in Romney Marsh, I can just imagine what they would be saying. And just a couple more that I've got. I won't be able to get through all of these on the text. I've got hundreds, so I'm never going to get through all of those. Who's this one from? This is from Steve, who says, Paul, I moved from my very small flat into my first house a couple of years ago. I got all my mates to come and give me a hand. They've all got vehicles ranging from small hatchbacks to little vans. We thought we could move everything by ourselves. Talk about disaster. We found that the whole thing would have been a lot easier if we had a few cans of beer to help us along. Well, by midday, we'd had far too many cans of beer. We were doing so much giggling that things were being dropped, something got dropped down the stairs, things were broken. Disaster. When we eventually sat down in the evening in the new house, we realised we'd probably done about £500 or £600 worth of damage. So I think a lesson to be learned tonight is that if you are going to be moving, especially if you're doing it yourself, don't drink. It does not work. And Jacob, who is in Grays, says, Paul, last Saturday my family and I went on a trip to Greenwich. We had to get on the train from here to Liverpool Street. Well, we had taken all our food strapped to a child's buggy and it looked absolutely ridiculous wheeling this thing down the road. We got on the train only to find that it didn't fit down the aisle where we were sitting. My mum, not wanting to leave it at the doors, fetched my dad and my oldest brother to lift the absurd thing over the heads of everybody who was sitting down, so in order we could get to our seats. And we weren't completely sure that we didn't clip anybody round the head with it. We did have a real laugh doing it. Yeah, but did you get there eventually? Good, 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 good. And also, where was the other one?